COVID-19 curfew extends for another month. Grieving mother pleads for the release of her son. ITUNI man succumbs to injuries after beaten and left in front of his residence. In the region, Haitian journalists, activists killed in Port-au-Prince shootings, and internationally, US, Biden raises firefighters' pay as heatwave hits the West. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The government of Guyana has extended the national curfew until July 31st, with the lockdown hours in effect from 10:30 p.m. to 4 a.m., along with restrictions on social activities and other measures. The Ministry of Health and National COVID-19 Task Force issued the gazetted COVID-19 measures for the new month. People are still required to wear masks while in public spaces. The measures also stipulates that all gatherings are limited to no more than 10 people and social activities are also prohibited. Recreational activities at rivers, creeks, beaches, swimming pools, and internal waters remain prohibited. However, physical exercise is permitted in parks, on roads, seawalls, beaches, and near rivers and creeks where persons can be safely distanced 6 feet from each other. The measures also state that no person shall visit or be permitted to visit any place of quarantine or an isolation facility, or prison or correctional facility. Persons are not allowed to visit a patient in a hospital, nursing home, senior citizens' home, or any other care facility. Meanwhile, places of worship, gyms, fitness centers, and restaurants, indoors and outdoor dining can operate at a limited capacity. Today, during a Zoom press conference, the grieving mother of Isaiah Henry pleaded for the release of her son, Gladwin Henry. Here is more. On Monday, the 26th of June 2021, 4 men were arrested for the murder of Harish Singh. Singh was killed a short distance away from his home in Berbice on September 9, 2020. His death occurred just days after the mutilated bodies of 2 cousins, Joel and Isaiah Henry, were discovered in Cotton Tree, Berbice. One of the men arrested for the murder is Gladwin Henry, the brother of Isaiah Henry. During a press conference hosted today by the Henry family's lawyer, Nigel Hughes, the mother, Mrs. Henry, stated that her son Gladwin was at home at the time of Singh's death and she wants him free.
If they want I give up justice for my son Isaiah, I will do it just so my son come out, because if it's this, it's Guyana. I don't want to see later this when my grandchildren then will come up. I don't want to see. Be careful what I seen here now. Nobody cannot tell me otherwise. This is not going somewhere else. Because my son was at home with others' friends and they could come and arrest him for a murder we don't know about.
During the press conference, family members of Gladwin Henry gave testimony that he was at home all day and therefore he could not have been involved in Harish Singh's death.
When I get at my sister's home, Gladwin Henry was home.
My name is Claudette Koshas, come from all the way of Bobby's River on Monday when I heard about my cousin Isaiah. When I get there, I tell my aunt I will stay the whole 2 weeks with her due to my cousin's death. I spent all the time there with my aunt. Gladwin Henry was at home. He never left the yard because my aunt gave me her house key and tell me to assist with the condonance of what people might bring in. So me and Gladwin collect those stuff and carry it up in the room all day.
Mr. Hughes claims that the investigation into the death of Joel and Isaiah Henry has been mismanaged and that the imposition of murder charges against Gladstone Henry is a miscarriage of justice.
So I think we all know that one of the tenets of a fair investigation, particularly into a murder that has attracted the kind of attention this has, it would necessitate an investigation of the alibi of the person who the police say is a suspect. It's basic. None of these witnesses has been investigated. None of them has been interviewed. And if all of them have confirmed Mr. Henry's presence somewhere else, then clearly the basis upon which the police feel that they have a case against him has to be measured against the statements of these persons.
Mrs. Henry said her family feels unsafe in their own home, and while she has already violently lost a son, she is pleading for justice for her other son. An ITUNI man was discovered severely beaten in front of his residence and subsequently died. Esther Sobers has more.
Police are investigating the murder of 56-year-old Frederick D'Souza of ITUNI village, which occurred on June 29th at BQ ITUNI. According to reports, police responded to an unknown caller who reported seeing a man lying in front of his house in BQ ITUNI. Upon arrival, the man was observed in an unconscious state in front of his home with wounds to his head, abdomen, and feet. He was subsequently taken to the ITUNI Healthcare Center, then to the Linden Hospital Complex, where he later succumbed to his injuries sometime the following morning. On the night of the incident, the police contacted a 39-year-old male suspect who was observed to have a wound above his right eye. When questioned about how he was injured, the man stated the victim told him not to enter his yard. He claimed that when he entered the yard, D'Souza allegedly lashed him with a picket. The suspect further stated that he took away the said picket and inflicted injuries on the victim. The suspect was taken to the ITUNI Healthcare Center for treatment of his injuries and is currently being held in custody to assist with the investigation. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Guyanese businessman stranded in Brazil passes away from COVID-19 and body of taxi driver found.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work? Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Tastes so good. It's gotta be made with Alabama Baker wheat flour. Produced from quality soft winter wheat and quality enzymes to give a superior product that's guaranteed to be luscious, delightful to taste, and stays fresher longer. Alabama Baker wheat flour is perfect for breads, roti, puri, pastries, chow mein, pastas, and many other delights. Imported and distributed by Alabama Trading. 6566 Robb Street, Borda, and 23 Lombard Street. Telephone 225-5800.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Chris Basu and his family have been stranded in Brazil for over a year due to the closure of the Brazilian border as a result of the global pandemic. And this report, Esther Sobers spoke with the spouse of Chris Basu as she reflected on her last moments with her partner, who passed away this week due to the coronavirus. Here is more.
Okay, we're in Brazil, Brasilia, and we are minutes to midnight. So we're going to film what's going on here.
What was hoped to be a fairy tale ending for Stacy Comrell and her spouse Chris Basu after giving birth to their daughter in Brazil turned into the worst as the couple contracted the COVID-19 virus. Though Comrell is recovering, her spouse Basu was not so fortunate as he died in the intensive care unit in a hospital in Brazil on Wednesday.
When this New Year break, we thought that this year would have been an amazing year. We celebrate our New Year's at the hotel, at the balcony, and watch the fireworks that lit up all around us. And he kissed me and he told me that, babe, this year is going to be a blessed and an amazing year. And I didn't imagine that this would have happened. On May 18, we fell sick. My daughter first fell sick. Then coming down in the day, I wasn't feeling well. Then the next day, Chris wasn't feeling well. We just thought it was a change of weather since Brazil is in the winter season right now. When he went to the hospital on the 28th of May in the emergency and they checked his oxygen level, it was at 74. It was at 74. That's when they admit him. And they give him a bracelet stating that he was critical. He was severe. Friday, he didn't get a bed right away. He spent the entire night in the wheelchair until the morning. Then he got a bed because the hospital was crowded with COVID patients. He told the doctor, nurse, and psychiatrist that he was afraid to die. And because he can't breathe, that's why he's having so much panic attacks.
Basu, a well-known businessman in Guyana who was stranded in Brazil for nearly 2 years with his newborn baby and spouse, they were unable to return to Guyana as the pandemic spread throughout the country, closing all borders. Despite this fact, Basu remained positive and would share a glimpse of his family's new life on social media as they spent most of their days living in a hotel. Many families and friends were devastated after learning of his death as he was battling against COVID-19 for about 4 weeks in the hospital.
I told him everything is going to be okay? And he said yes. I said, you need to fight. You need to fight for me. You need to fight for your kids and your family. He shook his head and he said yes. I told him I love him. I kissed him on his forehead. And I told him, I'm gonna be right here when you get out of the ventilator. His mom, his sister Melissa, and Dr. Devin Singh talked to him. That was the last time I got to speak to him.
Basu was last active on social media and made his final post on Facebook on May 9th as he wished his wife a happy Mother's Day. Brazil hit the tragic milestone of 500,000 COVID-19 deaths on Saturday when it added 2,495 fatalities to its count. The country has the second highest pandemic death toll in the world, second to the United States. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The body of a 53-year-old taxi driver was yesterday morning found at Block 1 Ogle, East Coast, Demerara. The man has been identified as Kenrick Trim of Belfield Housing Scheme, East Coast, Demerara. Enquiries disclosed that the body was found lying in the grass at the end of Cul-de-sac Street, Block 1 Ogle. The body appeared to have been dumped from a silver grey Toyota Primo car HC 5311, which was parked a short distance away. The body was later identified to be Kenrick Trim by his son Kenrick Odell Trim. The deceased was said to have been wearing a gold chain and a gold ring when he left home earlier that morning. The body was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where it was officially pronounced dead by a doctor on duty and further taken to the Likens Funeral Home for a post-mortem examination. Police investigations are in progress. Don't go away. After the break, Haitian journalist, activist killed in Port-au-Prince shooting, and EU eases travel for vaccinated as Delta variant cases rise. But before that, here is the Demerara Harbour Bridge retraction schedule.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
For decades, milk has remained the same. Until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work. Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Different.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. 8 journalists and activists are among at least 15 people killed in a spate of shooting in Haiti's capital. Rights groups are calling on the government to launch an investigation into attacks allegedly carried out by gangs. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
For weeks now, violence in Haiti's capital has been out of control. Gangs are now said to be in charge of entire areas of Port-au-Prince. On Tuesday, at least 15 civilians were killed when the police allegedly responded to an attack that had left an officer dead. Local residents are in shock.
I heard this terrible news. I told my mom I'll go see if any relatives died in the massacre. I was shocked to see my cousin died for nothing. I asked myself, where this country is going.
Among the dead were journalist Diego Charles and activist Antoinette Duclerc.
Many theories.
Fellow activist Ralph Francois says they were executed for speaking out against the government.
She was an activist and she had a very strong message against the government about the whole situation, actually. So we believe it was targeted. And me personally, I believe like the whole, all other people that were killed with that was a plan to cover the target assassination.
For months, thousands of Haitians have been taken to the streets to protest against the government of President Jovenel Moïse, who has ruled by decree for the past 18 months. He has failed to call for legislative elections and wants to reform the constitution. Critics say it's an effort to strengthen his grip on power. Separately, gangs are claiming they're in control of the island nation, and the government appears to be unable or unwilling to do anything about the security situation. Last week, former police officer turned gang leader Jimmy Cherissier says he was launching a revolution against the country's elite.
I am telling people to keep looking for what belongs to them. It is your money which is in banks, stores and supermarkets, so go and get what is rightfully yours.
Many people have accused members of Moïse's cabinet of colluding with the gang members. In the United States, some members of Congress are trying to push President Joe Biden to halt U.S. support for Moïse and listen more to the Haitian people, something many in Haiti are calling for.
We're just part of a whole geopolitical game where we are not human, we are just transactions. Stop pushing Jovenel Moïse when you know, even for your country, you would not take this guy as a person who would, do something for you. So why you continue to support bad politicians for this country?
Activists say that those who dare speak up about the situation in the country face intimidation and even death. The government, for its part, seems unable to come up with any solutions that will improve people's lives. Teresa Bow, Al Jazeera.
And internationally, a record-breaking heat wave in Western Canada and the US is causing a spike in heat-related deaths. Hospitals are reporting a flood of heat stroke victims, and officials are warning the weather is likely to remain at scorching levels. Al Jazeera's Kimberly Hackett reports.
With wildfires burning in the western United States and a heat wave intensifying droughts, U.S. President Joe Biden convened a meeting with governors on what to do about it.
We know this is becoming a regular cycle, and we know it's getting worse. In fact, the threat of western wildfires this year is as severe as it's ever been.
Temperatures are soaring on the west coast of the United States and Canada. Cities like Seattle and Portland, known for their moderate temperatures, are breaking heat records and struggling with water shortages. In Vancouver, Canada, the heat wave is being blamed for more than 60 deaths, with the toll expected to rise. With wildfires now a year-round, not seasonal problem, Biden told governors he's giving firefighters a pay raise to $15 an hour to help keep Western states staffed and prepared to fight fires whenever they hit.
The truth is, we're playing catch up.
But his administration also announced it's doubled the funding to help cities prepare for extreme weather disasters, among other initiatives to combat climate change, in his $1.2 trillion infrastructure deal worked out with Republicans in Congress.
The extreme weather events Americans are experiencing year-round underscore the need to make bold investments needed to tackle the climate crisis. The bipartisan infrastructure framework would make the largest investment in American history.
4 years ago. But some members of Biden's own Democratic Party protested outside the White House this week, accusing Biden of cutting many of his climate change policies to please his conservative critics. With Democrats controlling Congress and the White House, they're pushing for Biden to do more. They want the Biden administration to aggressively reduce fossil fuels and protect federal lands. They argue the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill needs to have much tougher standards on power plants and encourage more electric vehicle technology.
I don't think it's achievable. I think the president is doing this right. He's appealing to moderates within the Republican Party, which is right. Climate change needs to stop being a Democratic thing and being an American thing.
Last year's wildfire season in the United States saw more than 4 million hectares of land burned and dozens of people killed. And this year is predicted to be even worse as communities struggle with a new normal, record warm seasons that start sooner and last longer. Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, Washington.
At Paris's Orly airport, airline staff check travellers' documents. European Union citizens must now show an EU COVID certificate to travel. On paper or in digital form, it shows if a person is vaccinated or has a recent negative PCR test. Member states can adjust their entry rules according to the health situation in their country, but the COVID certificate will be standardised throughout the bloc.
It's more paperwork, but we've been vaccinated, we have a PCR test, it's all good.
I think it's a necessary measure. COVID isn't over yet, and we must avoid at all costs the risk of people of any age getting sick.
The EU wants to make it easier for people to cross its borders after more than a year of COVID restrictions.
Paris is usually one of the world's most visited cities, but the pandemic has meant there have been fewer tourists. The EU hopes that the COVID certificate will encourage people to travel again and help economic recovery.
France, like most European countries, has lifted many restrictions. Curfews have ended and people no longer need to wear masks outdoors. But the French government says there's growing concern over the spread of the highly contagious Delta variant.
The Delta variant is progressing. It is even progressing very quickly. It represented about 10% of contaminations last week, but it has doubled in less than a week.
Some medical experts say the Delta variant could account for 90% of cases in Europe by August. Portuguese officials recently imposed a weekend lockdown in Lisbon after a spike in cases. EU officials say countries must act if the health situation in their country deteriorates.
The pandemic is not over yet. This has been made very clear by the emergence of new variants of the virus. This is why we are proposing an emergency break, which allows member states to reintroduce measures.
It's a fine balance for the EU as it works to minimise health risks while trying to reinvigorate economies and allow people some freedom. But after more than a year of living with the unpredictability of the pandemic, the key, say European officials, is that people remain vigilant. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.
That is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.